And give your kid a hug for me because I think she's awesome. So thank you.
Okay, thanks. Stay safe.
My little Aries. Okay. Quickly, next caller, if you could tell me your name and your birthday and date and time, and Elizabeth will give you an overview, and I'll give you a psychic sort of backup for us. Hi.
Hi.
You there? Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Oh, yeah. My name is Angela.
Good name. When's your birthday? Please.
May 6th, 1975.
Well, I'm sorry,
May 6, 1975.
1975. What time were you?
Yes.
Do you know?
Sorry? And time? No, I don't know the time.
Okay, where were you born?
In Kingston, Ontario, Canada.
Kingston.
Oh, cool. Okay, we're going to do this really fast. But while Elizabeth is putting in your data, I'm going to ask you, have a specific question tonight?
I do, actually. My life has really just been turned upside down, and I'm wondering what you see within the next, 6 months for me.
I would give yourself about 2 weeks to really be nice to yourself because you've been so stressed that you haven't had any time to kind of process what happened. And this is going to sound a little crazy, but drink a lot of water. I know that sounds too simple to be effective, but that often helps process emotions. A lot of the stuff that happened to you it was old structures being taken away because they didn't serve you anymore, if that makes sense. And people who weren't in your best interest being sort of taken out of your life. And the reason that happened was to sort of clear the runway for what's coming up. My feeling is that you are taking a big step out of your comfort zone. And because you're here for a reason, a number of reasons, but you're here for a big reason, it's almost like your guides and your higher power kind of just got stuff that was maybe holding you back. And nobody likes having stuff taken away or having structures taken down. But if you're here for like a real reason, like you are, a lot of times you get sort of pushed out of your comfort zone, like a baby bird being pushed out of the nest by its slightly sadistic mother, so it can fly. We've got 2 minutes, so Elizabeth, really quickly, tell me very concisely.
Very concisely, you are a Taurus driven by a moon in Pisces, so you have all this energy to build a wonderful material empire, but you need to have a vision and an ideal behind it.
Yes,
there is there's an intuitive, sensitive part to this material empire that you need to build. And where you're at in life, you're having your midlife crisis, and you just got hit by in May of this year was the first hit, and we're just having the second hit like right this minute. Like next month will be the second hit of the crisis that everybody goes through at your age in life, where you want to just reinvent yourself.
So quickly, where's your Jupiter, so we can give her a little guide to where it could place you guys?
Jupiter's in 11 degrees of Aries.
And what house?
Well, we don't know because
right. Okay, so that says to me, if your Jupiter's in Aries, I feel it's in your 11th house. That's my intuitive hit. So be more proactive. The more you express your like what you want, it's almost like you need to be radically benevolent and selfish because you've been taking care of everybody else. And it's time for you to really get clear about what you want, because you're going to be given in meditation or just by asking the information you need to sort of fulfill your next mission. You had a great life, but it's about to get a lot bigger. And so a lot of self-care. And I'm sorry, we only have about 30 seconds, but if you can call in next week, I'd love to sort of explore this more with you. And but thank you for calling in. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And we're going to close with that Halloween song we were singing before.
Okay.
Soul cake, give us a soul cake. One for Peter, one for Paul, one brother, one man, soul cake, who'll give us a soul cake, one for Peter.
This is A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
Persian Medium Fiona is now on avidadvice.com. Psychic Masterminds.
Do you see children in our future?
Yes, of course. I see the building family almost 3 or 4 months.
Wow. I'm wondering if there's any loved ones around.
I feel the energies are calling me about a man. He's tall. He was married before, but it was not a real marriage because it sounds to be the person cheating on him. No kids around, no brothers, no sisters, your age or almost 3 years older.
I think I might know who this person is.
Okay.
I think I might know who he is, yeah.
Okay.
You may already know of Persian medium Fiona from her radio shows, her television shows, her groundbreaking detective work, and from just about every corner of the web. Only a site with the integrity and the purpose of avidadvice.com could land her. She's available now. avidadvice.com. Psychic Masterminds.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Soon enough, it was up to me to be his housekeeper and financial manager, too. When he moved in, I became his cook and even his nurse. But no matter what roles I play, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the roles you play. So to help, we created aarp.org/caregiving, where you can connect with experts and other caregivers. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Man, last night we put on an epic light show.
So epic.
The crowd loved us.
Wait, there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? Their eyes lit up brighter than ours, and we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
And we're gonna be out here rocking out our light show at a forest near you, so come check us out.
Check us out.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Cedric Ellis for PETA. Who can forget the haunting images of animals left behind barely clinging to life after Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast? Hurricanes, flash floods, earthquakes, and wildfires can affect us all, but animals are often the most vulnerable victims. If you're forced to evacuate, protect your entire family and never leave your animals behind. Make plans for their safety now before disaster strikes. For tips on disaster preparedness, visit PETA.org.
All in together now. We can make it better now. Come on, can we do it? We know that we can. We rope it up, cause we know how to jump. We roll it out, we know how to skate. We'll cut it down, we know what to eat. We'll swap it out. We eat healthy stuff.
Just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day. That's We Can. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, astronaut, you're up. You'll be meeting with Wish Kid Brandon.
Roger, Brandon.
His wish is to see a space shuttle launch.
All systems are go. We are clear for liftoff.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
And Cowboy?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be meeting with Shayla at a dude ranch in San Antonio.
Let's saddle up.
Some will miss school. Some will miss time with their family and friends.
Princess, are you here?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for rescuing me from that evil witch.
Juliana wishes for a princess-themed room makeover.
That sounds magical.
But with your help, the Make-A-Wish Foundation can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope.
Pirate!
Yar!
You're up for Isaac's wish.
Aye, aye, Captain.
The wishes of thousands of children are waiting to come true.
You can help make my wish happen. Visit wish.org today. Juice, Mom. Juice, juice, juice.
Mommy, why are we going to the store? Mom,
I want juice.
Mom,
Juice, juice, juice.
Mom.
Your child will have different needs at different stages of life, and that includes the car seat. See, car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey, the dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.
A1R.
A1R. A1R. The Ask One Radio Network.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio. Earth's #1 psychic radio network. And watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow creatures of the universe. This is Reverend Elliot coming to you live this Halloween from New York City, where we got about 1 million people down in Greenwich Village watching about 60,000 people marching in a Halloween parade, which I went to once, and I haven't been back since. It was the strangest damn thing I ever saw. You know, it was just the giant skeletons and monsters and goblins. It was perfect for Halloween. It was just it was excellent. And you know what we're going to do tonight? You and I, you're going to go trick or treating with me tonight. Yes, we're going to read tarot cards tonight, but you're also going to go trick or treating with me, and I am going to give everyone a treat. How's that? All you have to do is send me an email at any point, even if you're hearing this a year from now or a month from now. Here's what you do. You see, asktarot@earthlink.net. That's the email. See, asktarot@earthlink.net. And then just put in the subject line, knock, knock, or trick or treat, and I will send you something. I will send you a treat. I'll send you a gift. I'll send you, you can tell me what you'd like. The options are simple. I can send you a talisman. I can send you an amulet of some sort. Tell me what it is that you have in mind. I can send you instructions on doing out-of-body experience meditations. I can send you meditations that can give you energy and power. What else? Oh, I could send you a birth chart. I can send you your astrological birth chart as a treat. No tricks, just treats. So you just send an email that says knock knock in the subject line. You send that to asktarot@earthlink.net, and I will open the door and send you something. And everybody who does that also will get a copy of my latest newsletter. The newsletters are always free, and you can find the link to the newsletters at magic-works.com. I think the older one is there still. I'm going to check that, see, but you can find the new one there too. Oh, and this month, look, if I did a monthly newsletter, I'd be happy. I do them 2 times, 3 times a year sometimes. This one is about talismans and amulets. What I'm offering for our trick-or-treat gifts. So send me an email at asktarot@earthlink.net and say knock knock in the subject line or trick-or-treat, and I will I'll get you a little something. I'll ask you what it is you'd like to. If you don't mention what you want, I'll ask you. Why not? Why give people things they don't want, right? So we're going to now. What we're going to do is what we do every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. We're going to look through the magical window of the tarot. The tarot cards show us what's going on in the world that our senses see. The tarot cards can what's happening, what other people are doing, what other people are saying about us, what other people's plans are, if you are concerned about stuff like that. The future. Now, this is a very important thing. The tarot cards do show the future, but what is the future? The future now is not the same as the future 5 minutes from now. That's an interesting concept right there, because each future is unique to the moment. Right now, you're not the same person you're going to be in 10 minutes, especially if you get a reading, because then you'll have more information. So if you get a tarot reading that shows, let's say, a really nasty future coming your way, you can do something about it. You can change it. I mean, if it predicts trouble in the office, trouble at work, trouble financially, those are the things that people are frightened of seeing. And personally, if I'm going to have trouble coming down at me, bearing down at me at the speed of light, I'd like to know about it so I can be prepared for it. What tarot cards do. They give you data. They give you information. If the future that tarot cards show was inevitable, if there was nothing you could do about it, what would be the point of reading, right? There'd be no point at all because you couldn't do anything about it. So we're going to look at situations in life tonight, and you don't have to tell me what you want me to look at. You can just say, tell me what the cards show for me, and then those readings are remarkably accurate. The regular listeners to this show will testify that people sometimes don't tell me a thing about what they want the cards to show, and the cards show exactly what is on their mind. And you'll see most people, they leave their reading feeling much better than when they started, and that's the whole point. Tarot readers are not supposed to frighten you. They're not supposed to freak you out. That's the movie stuff. That's legend. In fact, one of the questions I get asked over and over again from people who would like to have a tarot reader in their life, I think you need one. You need a good lawyer, good plumber. That's an important thing. An electrician is handy to have in your life too. And I think that a tarot reader is somebody who should be part of your regular life too. I don't mean getting readings every week. I don't hold with that. I mean, you don't want to substitute the judgment of the cards for your own judgment, but every now and then, maybe a few times a year, your birthday, New Year's, Halloween, certain times of year, or as a situation that perplexes you arises and you might want some clarity, that's the time to get a tarot reader. And you should always know who your tarot reader is. And the question I get asked is, how do I choose a tarot reader? And I have one basic total bottom line. If you get a reading from somebody and you feel worse after the reading than you did before the reading, do not go back to that person. That person is only interested in messing with your head. There's no reason that a tarot reading should leave you feeling worse than when you started. And let's say you contact me and you want to have a half-hour reading off the air, which I do at very reasonable prices. If that reading goes a half hour and 30 minutes, we come to something really nasty and disastrous in your life, I'm not going to stop right there. I'm going to keep going until we work through that and get to something good. And that is not a ploy to extend the reading to charge you more, because I never, ever charge extra money over and over and over again for a reading. You know, there's one fee and that's it. And it's agreed upon in advance and it's done in advance. And that's how it goes. And so, you know, don't, I know there was a time when it was really fashionable to call these phone numbers, and somebody would keep you on the phone and you paid by the minute. And the next thing you knew, you got a bill from the phone company for $900. Forget it. Forget it. There's no reason that this should cost that much. You want to see my price list? It's available at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. And it's right there for you to read. And it is, it's reading start at $10. Now, you'll notice also if you go to magic-works.com that I have a discount available through the end of October. Now, that's today. Don't worry about that. If you still want the discount in November, just ask. In fact, if you don't want to pay what the price is there, you don't scrap the whole thing altogether. Just tell me what you want to pay, and we'll deal with that. You know, we can work something out. Never, ever, ever let money get in the way of reading. It's just not right. We're here to, the readers are here to serve the client. And, that's the bottom line. That's what it's all about. So we're going to do some of that tonight. We're going to do some fast readings, because we only have an hour here. And now I've gobbled up 10 minutes of that. So we have 50 minutes and then, maybe 45 minutes to go. So why don't we get right to that now? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We'll talk about books. We'll talk about psychic products. We'll talk about all the other things that I do as the show goes along. And if I don't tell you about things that you can buy, big deal. It's all about reading. It's not about pitching. So let's ring a bell 3 times to get into sacred space. That signifies a break between where we were and where we are now. And here we are now, right where we are. Now, how's that for metaphysics? The cards are all shuffled. I've got some candles burning. It's Halloween. The veil between this world and the next is thin. That's what happens this time of year. Get your Ouija boards out, folks. And we're going to start the readings. The first is Patricia in Portugal. Hi, Patricia. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, how are you? Good evening.
Good,
and thank you for having me. Very good. Thank you.
What can I look at for you?
Well, thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here. I would like to know about the love life and also health, which is very important. Please.
Okay. Well, as always, when anybody mentions health, when anybody mentions health, as always, I say make sure you get to proper medical professionals, because if there's something concerning you, get it checked out. And I say that as somebody who going into the hospital has been practically a second career for me lately. I hit that. Yeah, I hit that stage in life where the indiscretions of my youth caught up with me, and now I have to live an old, healthier life. So let's shuffle them up. Let's take a look at romance here. How's that?
Thank you.
Well, this is good because what I've got here are cards that are cups, and cups relate to romance. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Knight of Cups, that indicates something new coming in the way of a relationship. However, it's going to be volatile, up and down and up and down. Or have you been in a relationship recently that is?
Yes, actually, recently, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's going to smooth that. That's going to smooth out. You have the Ace of Cups here also, which tells me that there's something new coming in terms of relationship. It could be a new relationship, or it could be the relationship reaches another level. But there's another card here that I want to go into that's very interesting. I pulled out 4 cards for you, by the way, and they're all cups. The 4 of Cups is a card that is fascinating because that usually means that there's somebody who's interested in you, who hasn't, that person hasn't made their intentions known. So look around. There might be somebody in your circle of friends who'd like to get a little closer, because that card is followed by the Two of Cups, which means a new relationship.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm seeing something new is coming. It's going to be more stable than what you had just been involved in. And there is somebody who is there around you now that is just maybe a little hesitant or shy. So keep an eye out for somebody who treats you a little better than other people or tries to get your attention a little bit, you know, because I think that there's a potential for something good there.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Good to know.
Now, let's see what we can do with health here. I'm going to put these cards back in the deck, shuffle them again, and see what we get. These are I've been using an old deck of cards. For years I was using an old deck of cards. This is a new deck of cards. It's the same one as the Aquarian Tarot, but it's new, so it's loud when I shuffle it. It surprises me even. So let's cut them and see what we get here. You know, this is fascinating. I got the same cards here. I got the Knight of Cups and I got the Ace of Cups again. So this is telling me that the main thing that is going on in your life is going to be emotional and in terms of relationship. I'm not seeing anything one way or the other about health. So I guess that's good. But if you have any concerns at all, just check with a professional. But I do see that the main thing in your life now is going to be a good, healthy, wholesome relationship. You're looking for something satisfying. I'm going to pull one more card. Now, see, this is again, these are two cards here. They're the cups again. I'm getting nothing but cups for you. That's amazing. You must be emotions must be very important to you. The Page of Cups is, the Page of Cups is the arrival of something new. So that's good. I mean, the aces are potential, and the pages are real, and that means something good is coming your way. Now, here's an interesting card, which is the Six of Cups, and that relates to childhood and memories of childhood and people you knew in the past. And sometimes it even means somebody from your past is going to come into your life again. That's followed by the Lovers, which is the first non-cup card I got for you, and that's followed by the King of Cups. So yeah, the cups are all here. Lovers is about a choice. It's not just about relationship, but a choice. A couple of weeks back, I was reading for somebody here on Ask One Radio, and I got that Six of Cups. She didn't tell me what she was interested in. She just said, show me what the cards say. And I said, is there somebody romantically from your past who's coming back into your life? And she said, oh, wow, that is the problem. She said 2 people from her past have showed up. So there are some people who are very suspicious when someone from the past shows up. And I guess it's just a wait and see attitude, because somebody from your past is going to show up and there's going to be a choice that you make, but it's going to be good. The King of Cups tells me that you can control your emotions, that you can master your emotions. But you're a very emotional based person, which is good. I love that. So keep an eye out, especially for that person, either from your past or the person who's there, who I told you about, who hasn't made the intentions known. I pulled one more card again, and guess what it is again? The Two of Cups. That's the card that traditionally means a new relationship is coming. So I think you've got something coming. I think the reason that you even asked this question is that you have intuited that something new is on the way.
Yes, maybe. Yes, I can feel it. Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Well,
for quite a while,
you're right.
So it might be true.
Oh, you're right. It's like it's like that scene from the old musical West Side Story, where the guy knows something's coming, and I except for the Lovers card, every card I got for you was cups. So that's pretty good. That tells me that you're in that environment emotionally. So it's gonna be good for you. I don't see anything bad there. I don't see any speed bumps. I don't see anything to watch out for. In fact, I just pulled one more, and it's the Ace of Cups again. That the Knight of Cups is a beginning, and the Ace of Cups is a beginning, and the Page. You're headed for a really interesting time. So keep me posted, okay?
Thank you so much, really.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate your help.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
And it was spot on, yes. Thank you so much and for having me. I wish you all a good evening and happy Halloween for everyone, by the way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Happy Halloween to you, too. Bye-bye now. And let's shuffle them up. What a fascinating reading. Because often somebody will say they want to know about romance, and every card they get will be coins. And it'll turn out that money is really what's on their mind. But in this case, the caller was really tuned in to exactly what's going on in her life. And the cards reflected that. Every single card was a cup card, except for that card called the Love. Speaks for itself on one level, but also it indicates a choice will be made. So she's headed for a very good time, and the cards looked like something really new is going to blossom, not just show up, but blossom, and she'll handle it beautifully, and it'll be a wonderful experience. So we're all shuffled up now, and Amanda in New Mexico. Hi, Amanda, you're on with Rapid.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
Doing good.
Good. Glad to hear. What can I look at for you? Amanda, do we still have you there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, those silences get to me. What can I look at for you?
There's a couple of things I wanted to look at regarding love again and career, like motivation. I feel like something is holding me back, or I feel comfortable where I'm at or stuck as far as career.
Well, let's take a look at the career stuff first. Unless the cards show otherwise, the cards have a way of discussing what they want to discuss. Okay. Now these are some interesting cards here. The first is the Knight of Coins, and coins are money, and money, of course, relates to our work and career. The Knights are something new but volatile. So, have you been like feeling things going up and down in terms of money and work?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's good because you're going to take care of that. The next card is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is a card about a person who is from where they are to where they want to be, and do it through her own willpower and her own efforts. It shows a person moving a boat from, with a stick, the way the gondoliers do in Venice. Shows a person moving from rough waters to calm waters. So it means that you're going to get to where you want to be through your own efforts. Now, the next card is what really interests me because it's a major card. There are only 22 of the major cards in the deck. And the card is Justice. And now, why would you be getting justice if you haven't been mistreated? You have been treated badly?
Not that I could think of. Not lately.
Okay, I mean, in terms of work, something isn't going the way you thought it should, or...
Yeah, right now, I'd like to have more hours, I guess. But yeah, things are kind of slow right now.
Okay, well, I think that's going to change because I have the Justice card, which is a card about a person getting what they deserve. Oftentimes it means a court case, but I don't see that here because the other cards are not showing that. What's interesting is that the card after that is also a major card, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And that indicates a change, that the position that you're in is going to change. And now I have the Page of Coins. Now that's what's fascinating because the first was the Knight of Coins, which is the beginning of the court sequence. And then it goes to the Queen and the King, and the Page is the last one. So the Page is the appearance of more money. So I think we're going from the financially unstable situation with the Knight, the Six of Swords of you using your own efforts to get where you want to be, the Justice card, which tells me that you're going to get what you want, what you deserve, more than what you want, but what you deserve, The Wheel of Fortune tells me that the current situation is going to change, and the card after that is the Page of Coins, and that's the tangible appearance of more money. And the income stream is going to pick up. So there's all indications that you're going to get those extra hours and all that stuff that you feel that you deserve. That's clearly what's in these cards. So it's on the way. I mean, the Six of Swords is an active thing. It's not saying that this may happen sometime. It's in the works now. So I think through your own efforts, you're going to get that.
Okay.
Anything else you want to look at?
That sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I was just wondering about like the relationship thing. Anything that could have came up on that.
Let's take a look at see if we shuffle the cards and get the relationship. So what I like about that reading you had is the symmetry of it. I'm a sucker for symmetrical stuff. It opened up with financial insecurity in a sense because the knight is up and down and up and down, and it closed with the page, meaning that the here. So that's pretty good. Now, just like the last caller, all three cards here I got for you are cups. You're asking about love and what you got. Now, you're not in a relationship now, are you?
No.
Okay, because there's one coming. I always like to ask that because when I say somebody there's a new relationship coming and they're in a relationship now, it's kind of a shock. But the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Cups is here, and the Ten of Cups is perfected happiness. So you're headed for a very happy time. The Two of Cups tells me that there's going to be a new relationship. That's what the Two of Cups is. The Three of Cups is a fascinating one. 3 indicates completion, which means that something is happening, something occurred. And that means the relationship is coming. But there's a deeper in that it involves getting something through your. So somebody through your circle of friends is going to either be in a relationship with you or introduce you to somebody. So keep an eye out on what your friends have. If any friends come on and say they've met somebody they think is right for you, this is the time to give it a shot because it's what the next big romance is, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a happy one. It's going to be a joyous one. Is going to come through your friends.
Wow. Okay.
It's just funny to me how when you ask about financial work, which is essentially a financial thing, this is what I love about tarot. The cards were about money, and then you ask me about romance and the cards are cups, which are about the heart. I think that's marvelous. It also shows me the cards are reinforcing that you are in touch with yourself, and that's very good. You're very, nobody's going to pull the wool over your eyes. You know what I mean? When you want to, the cards talk money. When you want to talk romance, the cards talk romance, which tells me that you have a real clear grasp about what you're doing and who you are. So that's really good. And that's going to get you what you want. Okay, Amanda?
Okay.
So thanks for calling. And when the relationship develops, give a call again, and maybe we can take a look at how it's going to progress. But from a lot of what I do between shows, all you have to do is send an email to asktarot@earthlink.net, ask for the free consultation, which is a free mini reading, and those generally solve the question right there. Those will generally do it. Sometimes we go on to a full-length reading, but I would say that I'm thinking back over the years now, it's got to be over 90%. It gets solved with the mini reading. Need to go any further than that. So take advantage of that because you shouldn't be limited in your access to the free readings just because it's just between the hours 11 and 12, So do take advantage of that. And when you email me with any question or whatever is on your mind, even if you just need to vent to somebody, that's fine. I'll listen to you. I'll respond. Don't apologize for bothering me. You're not bothering me, and I'm asking you to call. So remember, trick or treat, email for the free consultation, or do both. And remember, check out mojoacademy.org. Mojoacademy.org is the publishing arm I was talking about, the publishing house. There are books there that will change your life. Right now, there's a 20% discount. If you go to magic-works.com, MAGIC-works.com, you'll see a link there that'll tell you how to get any of these books by going to retail sales and going right to the place where the books are printed. So that's pretty cool. I like doing that. You don't have to. I'm a New Yorker. We never pay retail for anything. We find ways around. Everybody knows somebody who has a friend who works in the office. So we get those insider discounts, and you can get an insider discount. Go to mojoacademy.org and check out the books there. Especially check out Reverend Elliott Explains It All, Hunches, which is about developing your own psychic abilities, and the book I mentioned earlier, Reverend Elliott's Magical Window, which will help you on your tarot adventures. I got to run now. So I'll see you next week. And until then, remember, time flies. Up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Persian Medium Fiona is now on avidadvice.com. Psychic Mastermind.
Do you see children in our future?
Yes, of course. I see the building family almost 3 or 4 months.
Wow. I'm wondering if there's any loved ones around.
I feel the energies are telling me about a man. He's tall. He was married before, but it was not a real marriage because it sounds to be the person cheating on him. No kids around, no brothers, no sisters, your age or almost 3 years older.
I think I might know who this person is. Okay. I think I might know who he is, yeah.
Okay.
You may already know of Persian Medium Fiona from her radio shows, her television shows, her groundbreaking detective work, and from just about every corner of the web. Only a site with the integrity and the purpose of avidadvice.com could land her. She's available now. avidadvice.com. Psychic Masterminds.
A1R, Lifestyle, Healing and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Soul Star Radio with Jacqueline Close-Moore. Live from soulstar.media. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites. AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Soul Star Radio on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, and welcome to Soul Star Radio. I'm Jacqueline Close-Moore, coming to you from a car park. I'm on my way to Lakes Entrance to appear at a psychic expo down there, a psychic and wellbeing expo for Saturday and Sunday. So I've literally just gotten out of Melbourne. I've got a magpie flying past. It's rather cute. You can't see that, unfortunately. But so it's I'm in a place called Bunyip, which is actually a being in Indigenous culture. So I thought that was kind of appropriate because we literally have Beltane over the last couple of days. We've had also All Saints Day for those who celebrate that literally today if you're in the US and yesterday if you're in Australia. And so it's going to be quite an interesting weekend. I'll be doing live reading demonstration for audiences down at Lakes Entrance and also one-to-one readings at my stand. I'm actually taking some red carpet with me. I don't know, I just felt like having some red carpet. Nothing like a bit of grounding, is there? So I'm going to be taking that along, and I'm going to be taking your calls today. I'm sort of having to do this, one, on my phone, and two, with the other half of my laptop. So it'll be quite entertaining sort of getting through today. What I'd like to talk about, I guess, to start the show off is about trusting your intuition and how that can actually work for you, not just in your emotional life, your social life, your romantic life, but actually how it can help you with things like house buying, house selling. I don't think I actually covered on the show how with the selling of a couple of houses now and then buying new ones, how I've sort of picked that up. And usually I actually pick it up for the dollar. But I'm not sort of necessarily guaranteeing that tonight on the show. But, you know, in the case of when we sold our Whittlesea home, we actually sold that in 2 weeks over Christmas, which is just not really heard of. And we sold it for a really quite a high price. And I actually felt that the buyer would want a ridiculously short settlement period and that we would have to be out and finding somewhere, which we hadn't found somewhere else to be yet. We literally got a 22-day settlement, which is kind of hilarious master number there. Given the circumstances, when I was also looking for the next place we would go to, which was in a small country town, which is just what we needed for a couple of years there, I actually got the figure that I felt it would be available for and sold for, even though it was advertised for quite a bit higher. So the exact dollar we got for that. And then when we sold that, I felt it would get sold in 4. I just didn't know if it was weeks or months. And it turned out it was weeks, which in that country town is unheard of because usually properties can be on sale for a year, some of them 3 years, and they just don't sell. And I actually put that particular property up at a certain price. I said, I'll put it up at this price, but I'm going to sell it at that much because the buyer's going to offer this much. So the amount that they offered was $20,000 less than the sale price, which I felt they were going to offer that amount. And I actually contacted the real estate agent. I said, I don't know if it's today's buyer or not, but they're going to offer this much and $10,000. You know, I'd like you to stretch them out to 215 because you can get them to there, but we can't get them to 220 or 230. So I don't want to lose the sale. I'm happy to sell it at that because actually I got it quite a bit cheaper. We fixed it up a little bit. So literally she said, look, they haven't made an offer. They've got an offer on another house. Did you want me to ring them back and say that you would accept this amount? And I said, absolutely, please do that. And so that she rang them back. And they said, we'll think about it. We're just waiting on the building inspector's report on the other place. And so they came back on the Thursday, yes, we want an inspection on your place. We'll take the builder through to your place because obviously they weren't quite happy with the other one. They'd already kind of made an offer on. And sure enough, she had said how much I would accept. And they offered that number, 10,000, which was, so it was exact digits of what I was saying. The exact price is what they were offering. And I'd already said to her, no, stretch them out to that amount. And so she already knew what my closing amount was and where I could stretch to and where I couldn't. And I said, and by the way, they're going to ask for a 30-day settlement. And I really needed 60 or 90 days because once again, we hadn't sort of done that whole looking for anywhere yet thing. I mean, I had an eye on the market. I always keep a bit of an eye on the market. It's something in our family has always been around property, so it's sort of a bit of a weird thing I do. I said, they're going to ask for 30 days. I really want 60. I really want you to try and get the 60. If they don't accept the 60 and they're ready to walk away, call me. I said, because I think they're not going to accept the 60, but I reckon there's something else we can do, but I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. And so sure enough, absolutely has to be 30 days, blah, 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 blah. And so I said, look, make it 45. I know they'll settle on that. And with the proviso that if we can leave earlier, we will. And sure enough, that's what they accepted, 45 days. And then the other place we sort of came across and I was like, that's the one I want. I actually offered exactly what the bank valued the property at. And the bank valuation is very important with apartments in Australia right now because apartment lending is really tight and very strict. We've got a royal commission over here at the moment on banking and malpractices. And so it's really not that easy to get finance at the moment, particularly if you're self-employed like myself. So basically that bank valuation being exactly what I offered was perfect. that got me across the line. Yet the price the property was being put up for was a range that was quite different to that price. And so we were able to get that through. And because of the way everything was going, I needed to settle the other property first and earlier. So we actually ended up settling it on 31 days. So the first property, when we sold Whittlesea and moved to the country, I managed to get us into the new place in 19 days from not having anywhere to go to bang, there it is, 19 days moved in. Kind of nuts, really. A little bit stressful, probably not advised. And the second one, I got us in on 30 days, once again, not having actually selected somewhere yet. So, you know, if you're in a life crisis where you're sort of like, oh, yeah, how am I going to deal with this? There is always a way. There's always your intuition which can guide you. And, you know, it's just about trusting that and following through with that. And I think the thing to hone the intuition is to practice on really small things first and to see that you're getting results, because then you know you're actually in line with your intuition. It's really happening for you. If you're getting those small things right, then you can actually practice on bigger and bigger things. And that's where you can be doing things like I do with, I'm actually literally backing a house on it. Because I literally do this as my job. So if I'm not able to help myself with that, then, you know, why would anyone listen to me for them? So I think that sometimes there's a lot said about whether readers should read for themselves or not. I don't sort of see this as reading for myself. It's simply the guidance that's coming through. And so I'm really listening to and trusting that and going with it. And but if I was to sit there and spread out the cards for myself on this situation or that situation, you're damn straight I'm going to, you know, probably have some influence going on there. But if I'm actually just listening to the messages coming straight through and really listening to that first feeling, it's going to be pretty bang on, because I'm only going to get that impression if I'm needing to get it. So just something for you to think about when you're looking at developing your intuition and using it in your life. Really start with the small stuff first. Make sure you're getting that pretty consistently accurate before you go trying to do things with houses, because, you know, that can be a really big, tough decision. Meanwhile, let's get to it. We've got some callers. And thank you, everyone, for trying to reach out as well. We've got Tammy in Charleston, South Carolina, USA. Are you there, Tammy?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I can hear you now. That's beautiful to have you join me on the show. Now, what I can do is tune into your energy, and how I do that to stop me from copying the energy of everyone in the supermarket, including the people in the cheese aisle. Something about cheese. I usually use a date of birth to do that. Are you happy to give your date of birth? Doesn't have to be a year if you're not comfortable.
Sure, it's fine. My birthday is December 11th, 1984.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Tammy. You're very smart and quick off the mark with things when you're dealing with people, and you usually find the solutions, even and especially when you know, it's quite obscure or abstract or somehow unique and different and not so much usual. So you're able to kind of you know, punch a hole through the less clear things and get straight to what's sort of important there. And I really feel that practicality in your energy as well, and a tendency to really just get straight onto it. You will, however, get a bit confused with your own emotions and how you want to do stuff. So it's interesting what I was saying about psychics having trouble reading for themselves, because I think I'm talking to you. So it's sort of at times, yeah. I think the thing is that you're so very clear for everyone else that you know, it can get a bit confusing when it's for yourself. And I think when that's happening, it's really good for you to just take yourself back to your heart chakra, which, you know, sounds a bit cliche to say the very least, but it's not.
I guess that was going to be one of my questions for you, because I feel like I can read stuff. Like,
yes, you can. Absolutely, without question.
I can. Okay, yeah, I thought sometimes I started to think I was crazy because I could feel things before they happen, or I know things before they happen, and I dream things a lot, and, you know, it's gotten a lot stronger since I was about 30, and I just was feeling kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, well, you're going to look. Put it this way: if you are sane, you will feel that you're crazy picking this stuff up. Frankly, when you're first getting into it,
Yeah.
so welcome to the club. It's okay. The thing to do is to always measure up and say, all right, is what I'm seeing actually turning out to happen in real life events? Tick, fabulous. That's happening because you've got that. Are people relating to and understanding what I'm saying and feeling that it's correct and relevant? Well, I feel that sometimes your indication of that is how annoyed they get.
Yes, they do get annoyed. Very annoyed.
My dear, all you've got to do is learn a bit of finesse. And finesse is really learning how to tell people the truth without making them want to kill you. That takes a bit of work. I've got to tell you, I've really copped that sometimes. Duck on, naughty.
Yeah.
It's like...
or learn just when not to tell people, maybe.
Oh, yes, indeed. You've got to be so careful. You've got to have permission. And if you don't have permission, there are really cheeky ways to let someone know something without them knowing that you know it. And so this is where a bit of, in Tai Chi, we'd probably be talking about cloud hands, Where are those hands going and what did they do? So what it is you might say, I was just thinking about blah, blah, that is going on in their life because you're picking it up, but you're not saying that. I was just thinking about this situation when this happens to people, and I had this person the other day and I felt this and this and this about them, and they were telling me about it and I was really worried. I felt like this and this might solve that. What do you reckon? And they're going to sit there going, because they'll be going through that, and then they can then sort of decide that it isn't about them, but they will be able to still hear the message, and it's a really cool way to keep yourself nice and safe. Because I actually spent time as a youngster in a town of 850 people, and there was lots of cows, and some of them went to school with me, but. So, being psychic was a little bit dangerous, I've got to say, especially around farm equipment and people with sort of funny ideas about that, So keeping safe is actually important, and we shouldn't have to come out of the broom closet until we're ready, if you know what I mean. So it's really...
Yeah, my grandmother was recently talking to me about it because I went to her and I was like, Grandma, I know this came from somewhere. Have you experienced these things, And she told me that, yes, she had, but she had told me the same thing, that, she had to learn that you don't talk about it with people, and it was something that was special and a gift, but that it was just a gift, And
it's a gift you can use. That's the thing to understand. I actually spent time in my teens and very early 20s feeling quite shamed and guilty, being told by priests that I should seek forgiveness. And it's interesting because some of those priests are now in jail, and one of them in particular that I actually met, and when he actually put his hand in front of me with a ring on it, and I actually looked at the ring and I looked at the hand, and I didn't understand I should kiss the ring because that just looked really dirty to me and I didn't want to go anywhere near that. And I just went, and I just lifted my hand and I shook his hand, and he went, like this. And he didn't actually say a word to me. They thought I was possessed or something, possibly. But, there's been the need to, I guess, choose our audience wisely. And this is why it's great talking to someone like me, talking to people that you meet that are open to this. And, there are psychic development groups around. You just have to find them. And, even some of the groups around America, you've got your spiritualist groups, you've got various different types of meditation groups. And I think it's really important for you to sort of, get into that. There's a lot of healing that comes from your heart that goes out to people, and I think the thing is that, in amongst those questions I was saying to ask, does this make sense? Does it come out in real events? And is it helpful? Is this helpful and positive? Because it's really important that people, when they're working with this stuff, come from an essence of humility and wanting to help people. And help empower people to be their best self. And I can just feel that running through your veins, and pumping through that beautiful heart of yours. And I'd really love to see you doing things like Reiki training and stuff like that, because, 2018, guess what? It's your 7 year, and 7 is that very mystical number that deals with, it's a chariot card in the tarot, which in the Kabbalah tree of life links to what in English means fence. And certainly have been having a lot of boundary issues with people this year, but it's also the spiritual, mystical number as well. So there is this reaching into the other side going on.
It's my favorite number.
Yeah. Hello, right? So this year's your 7 year, and I just feel as if you're going to find that you open more and more over the next couple of years, and I really kind of want you to pursue it. Don't let that sort of fall aside, because I think this is part of your being. Some people want to become a psychic, and other people simply are. And everyone has intuitive ability. It's just whether we feel ready to go there and learn to trust spirit. And I think learning to trust spirit, well, you're going to want a lot of proof, because you're a proof lady. You're all about proof. It's got to be real, And I can relate to that, but it's also about sometimes getting the proof and going, yeah, that happened. And I think this is, in your case, why, and many people's cases that might be listening, journaling is really helpful, because what it does is it lets you know that that did really happen. You've written it down on paper. It exists now. It can't be denied. And that's the sort of thing I'd really encourage you to use as well.
Yeah. Think it backs me away, I don't necessarily know if, it's bad stuff, but I just know that, it scares me. I've lived in different houses where I felt and saw things, and, I'd be terrified. I'd be underneath my bed and, afraid to tell anybody, because if I told someone, I felt like somebody was going to think, I'm losing my mind. But I saw these things, and, they're real. They're real. Yeah. No, a lot of the things you're seeing are real. Some of them are fear-related and are imagination. But the thing I was saying about the priest before, what got me going on this journey in amongst a few pushes was I actually stayed with some nuns because I had problems with my children not sleeping. And, of course, part of that was because they were getting woken up at night by beings coming into their room. I would literally see them coming into their room and say, look, the kid's only 6 months old. He can't work with you yet, just give him a break. But so it was the nuns that said, you have a gift and God doesn't make mistakes. God chooses who the gift is given to, in what way and how. And so because you have this gift, you actually have an obligation to use it. That's what was said to me. I don't want to put the word obligation onto what you're doing, but I just want you to feel safe to explore it. I feel it. In a safe way. I feel that.
Yeah, this is why I really, any Reiki groups, any meditation groups, any sort of spiritual groups, choose and pick them carefully. Go with your feeling on where you feel drawn to, and then you'll be led along the right journey anyway. And the different houses you're feeling things in, yes, they're impressions and imprints of past experience. Sometimes there can be spirits hanging around houses, and other times it's simply a memory. I can walk into a memorial hall and I can see the history of that hall in front of me. I can see the dances from the 50s. I can see when it was a movie theatre. Yeah. I can see the boy running up and down the stairs. And I'm like, and I've actually been sitting there and I had a heater above me as I was doing a reading for a lady, and I talked about her love life cooling down, and the heater literally went poof and it went off. And as I started talking about things to do in the relationship, and I said, and then I believe that will switch the warmth of your relationship back up. Boom, the heater went back on. And I'm like, it was the only heater in the whole hall that did that. But this was actually the theatre with the movies and the ballroom dancing and the 50s dances with the swing dresses. And I'm just watching that while doing readings all day going, wow, this is exciting. It's why I like, when I'm doing readings at a stand, I like to not have a gallery above, because half the time when people have been walking up and down a gallery in a open exhibition area, they've been walking the upstairs area where they can look down. I'm actually seeing them doing that, even though they're not currently there. So sometimes I'll be seeing spirits, other times I'm seeing impressions. And I believe that's what's happening to you, which is why I'm explaining it. I believe there's a lot that you can do with your energy. Yeah.
I'm so glad, because I was wondering, like, what I was seeing. I have a question for you. If you can see into it, maybe it would give me a little peace. My father passed away in 1997, and it was an automobile hit and run, supposedly, but like none of us ever felt really comfortable with it, and there were a lot of stuff that were around the case. Was it in fact an accident? Like, can you see anything or feel anything on that? Like, I've never been able to, and I think maybe it's because I'm...
Yeah, what I'm getting with that is I feel like it's nighttime, and I'm getting a lot of glowing going on that I'm trying to understand. Was that at nighttime? Are you aware of that?
It was at nighttime.
Yeah, I'm seeing an orange glowing, and that to me, it could look like a fire. It could look like, I'm just not sure whether that could be some kind of flashing light.
The gentleman who hit him actually set his vehicle on fire.
Oh, right. Now I understand, because I'm seeing the fire.
He hit his car. That's why, like, none of us really understood. He went home and he set his vehicle on fire to hide the evidence, but someone told on him, and that's how we found him. He's now deceased.
Because we're running out of time, I'm just going to relay what I'm getting. I don't feel that it was initially on purpose. What's happened after it is on purpose, which is why it's confusing for you. It's why you get mixed intentions and messages about it. So we're running down in time as I'm speaking. You can connect to me on Facebook on Soulstar Radio with Jacqueline. You can send him a private message in case we get cut off. But I just feel it's not intentional going into it. It's not intentional going into it. It's what's happened after it that's completely intentional. So it is trying to hide what's happened. That's the intentional part of it. That's why you're confused.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to add you. I'm very thankful for your calling.
Your dad absolutely loves you, and he wants you to know that he's very proud of everything you're doing and the wisdom you're holding and the calmness you have in situations that sometimes have been dire, and he just wants you to know he's with you.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
You must have thrown 1,000 pitches teaching him to hit a home run. Spent countless Saturdays running routes so he could learn to hit an open receiver. Endless afternoons teaching him how to hit the three-pointer. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit? Teaching boys that all violence against women is wrong is one of the most important things a man can do. Learn how to start the conversation at teachearly.org. Brought to you by Futures Without Violence and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone.
Okay, think. Where'd you have them last?
I was home, then I spent them on that vacation in this tiny suit of armor. Now they're gone.
Weird. Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's
Feed the Pig!
LiveYunited.org.
Oh, I broke his little gauntlet.
Oh, no.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Packers.
Vikings. We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown. We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full. But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Many dogs and cats spend endless days indoors staring at the wall, living for the moment when you will come home and tell them you love them, take them out, and make a fuss over them. Dogs and cats need physical exercise and mental stimulation, things to do and think about in order to be healthy and happy. Please set time aside for them and give them a real life and real love. For more information, please contact People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals at 757-622-PETA or helpinganimals.com. That's helpinganimals.com.
This year, firefighters like Fire Chief James Hall will battle wildfires around the country in hopes of containing them. But firefighters can't do it alone.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile, where it can ignite and destroy your home and community.
Get fire adapted. Learn simple steps you can take now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
When every moment matters and a life is saved, when someone gives blood, when a hand reaches out, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Down the street, across the country, around the world, you help save the day. Every day. Your support truly matters. You can help today. Visit redcross.org.
Can you tell if these vegetables are being contaminated with bacteria that could cause paralysis? Listen, you can't see it either. Use different cutting boards so that the bacteria in raw meats and seafood and their juices doesn't touch prep surfaces for other foods like veggies. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
A1R Psychic, Metaphysical and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. It's time for Creating an Inspired Life with Colleen Vanderzijde. Live from PsychicMediumColleen.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Creating an Inspired Life on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzijde, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. We all appreciate that. I am a medium as well as a certified spiritual life coach, and as you know, I love to help people live a better life. And I like to give people insights and change their perspectives so that they can change their actions and their behaviors in this lifetime. Today's coaching tip is all about those times where we hold on to the pain from something in the past. And I'm going to talk about a way or two that you can move past that and let it go. I had a client a bit ago. Her name was Mary, who was passionately explaining to me that she really wanted to know if her husband had had an affair 8 years ago when they were in the process of getting divorced. She had convinced herself he'd had an affair, and she was absolutely fixated on this idea. She said if she only knew the truth, then she could move on. He told her he hadn't had an affair, but she didn't believe him. So now she's making the rounds of psychics and mediums, trying to find the truth. I was a little bit confused about this because if he had had a possible affair back when they were getting divorced, what difference does it really make? And it turns out they had remarried. And she said even though they were separated and in the process of the divorce, they were still together, which was a whole other question I had, but I did not follow up on that one. She proceeded to say if she knew the truth, she would act differently. And I asked her, so if he hadn't had an affair, how would you act? And she said she would be the loving wife she is supposed to be. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I said, well, if he did have an affair, how would you act? And she said she would then start living to move past it. And I asked her why she was holding on to the pain of something that may or may not have happened. And I explained, I said, you're giving away your power and you're creating this miserable life, this experience around you that's absolutely miserable. Why would you want to do that? And I said, you may never find out the truth because if you don't trust your husband and he's saying no, then you're still searching for an answer. And if she doesn't trust his response, then there's a little bit more of a problem there than what any psychic or medium is going to help her with. She went on and on about the pain that this has caused her and still caused her. She said she was never going to stop trying to find the truth. She was very clear, very, very clear. She would not let this go, and she would prefer to be in pain, living a miserable life, and that's her choice. Now, I had another friend who was bullied as a younger person, and that bullying turned into the subconscious belief that he wasn't good enough and he was unlovable. And he started using it as an excuse to protect himself, and he wouldn't allow people to get close to him. He didn't trust them, thinking it was only a matter of time where they would turn on him and start bullying him, just as had happened years ago when he was younger. He kept replaying conversations in his head over and over, the negative things people had said about him. And he replayed them so much that he started to believe them. And when he had conversations years later with people, he kept reading into their conversations, thinking that they were going to say something that was mean or bullying to him, because that had been his experience, 20 years ago. He also was miserable. And I'm sure there have been times where in your head you have replayed negative conversations or situations, continuing to hold on to the pain. I know I have been known to do that on occasion myself, where I just start going and going on something that's happened or something somebody said, and I can't get it out of my head. It's very easy to do, to fall into this trap, this habit. We want to justify how we've been wronged, how life is unfair, and why we were in pain. We tell ourselves this story over and over again of our past, our painful life. We prolong that pain by holding on to that. And that keeps us stuck, blocking our way to a happier life. How do we get out of this trap? How do we shift our minds to move past this, move past the pain of the past? Now, I'm talking about things in the past that have happened a long time ago that cannot be changed. They're over, they're done with. Whether it's an unverified perception like Mary, who's believing her husband had an affair, or a factual event like my bullied friend, both of those situations, both of those ideas are causing them pain now, years later. And both of them carry equal weight when it comes to affecting our quality of life. Whether it's true or not doesn't make any difference. It's the emotions we're experiencing that are giving us the pain. So if you believe something, whether or not it's true, that's still going to affect you. To move past this pain, this habit of holding on to the pain from the past, the first thing we have to become aware of is that we want to be happier. And this seems so very obvious, doesn't it? Of course, everybody's going, of course, yes, I know. But for a person who replays their emotional pain, they've created this negative, repetitive story they may not even realize is blocking their happiness. They habitually blame and complain, which keeps them stuck. They say they want to be happier, but they don't take action, or even recognize they have the power to change how they're feeling and create that happiness. When I say something to somebody, you can choose to be happier. What will happen is they will say, well, I want to be happier, but, and then after but comes all the reasons why they can't be happy. But this person said this person said that, but this, but that. It goes on and on. If you want a happier life, and you tend to be one of those people that holds on to the pain of the past, you need to choose to be happier. Just choose, knowing that you have the power to create a happier life, which you do. And I know some of you are still resisting me, saying, but I can't, my life's not going to change, it's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. But your life is not going to change to a happier life if you don't choose to be happier. Okay, think about that. First thing to think about. The next thing is to name your pain. Name it. Are you angry, frustrated, irritated, resentful, hateful? Whatever it is, name your pain, because once you name it, you're recognizing it, you're acknowledging it's there, which will move you into an acceptance. Whatever happened is over. You can't change it. The only thing you can change is how you're holding on to these things. You can change how you're going to integrate this situation into your life, how you're going to use it to change your experience of life. So once you've decided you want to be happier, then you can make the choice to accept the situation. It happened. What did you learn? How did it affect you? How has it come to you today that it's still affecting you in a positive or a negative way? Can you use that pain to create a happier life? And that's an interesting thought, isn't it? Use the pain to create a happier life. Mary, the one who refuses to acknowledge her role in creating a happier life, because she's fixated on her anger at her husband and she's choosing to stay there. If she would accept his answer that he didn't have an affair, then she could release the anger and she could choose to move on. But she won't, because the misery is familiar and I think she likes it, actually. My bullied friend recognized his situation caused him to feel unloved. And he realized that by holding on to the pain of that bullying, he wasn't loving himself or anyone else. To integrate that situation into his life, what he did was he made the choice to be the opposite, to become loving and kind. Rather than remembering those hateful comments, he remembered them, but used it in a positive way to say, you know what, I'm not going to act like that. I'm going to act like this instead. And he chose to have a happier life by taking action. He accepted the bullying, it happened, but he used it, integrated it into his life to help himself become a better person. Now, this is something I could talk about all day, but we don't really have all day. So those are just some ideas that you can use to get rid of some of that stuff we hold on to from the past. So if you're holding on to the pain of the past, consider these 4 ideas. I'll give you a little summary. 1, you can choose to live a happier life. You have the power to create it, so decide you're going to do that. Simple, isn't it? Not always easy, but it is simple. Number 2, name your pain. What are you feeling? Acknowledge what it is. Accept that it's there. Then what you're going to do, number 3, is accept the situation happened, and you're going to accept and feel those emotions. I know it can be hard to feel the emotions because sometimes we're afraid to step into those emotions thinking we're never going to get out of them. But if you can feel into that emotion, you'll eventually release that feeling that it has a hold over you, those emotions, and you'll be able to let them go and you won't be resisting them anymore, which will make it easier for you to accept the whole bit of it. And number 4 is, how can you use this pain to become a happier person, to create a happier life? And you'll see, and I hear these stories all the time from other clients who this horrible thing happened to them when they were younger, and they decided to change their lives and not follow that path. You know, if you have a horrible mother and you decide, I'm going to be a totally different kind of mother, a better mother. People do this all the time. So if you're holding on to the past, this is something to consider and look at. You always have a choice as to how you respond to your life situations. You don't have to fall into that habit of telling yourself that story over and over and over again, holding on to the pain of the past. You can choose to release it and integrate that, all those lessons, into creating the happier life, because you do have the power to create that happier life. And that is my coaching tip of the day. And you can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And I would love to hear from you at some point there. So we will go on to our first caller, who is Cassandra in Minnesota in the United States. Cassandra, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You don't sound so good. It was kind of like, I'm good. So
no,
how can I help you?
Being shy. That's more being shy.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So how can I help you today?
So I had seen that you were going to do some psychic readings, so I was just kind of curious. I haven't had, a reading done before, so I don't really know, like, kind of what to expect. I guess I do have some questions on schooling, outcomes of schools, and I have a relationship where I'm going to be working towards getting more desirable outcomes with my small children.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's okay. What I'll do is I'll just go into it and we'll see what happens. How about that?
Yeah,
so,
that sounds perfect.
I always tell people to give me a little bit of an idea of what they want to talk about because we do have limited time. So that's good. Are you in school now? Because I am feeling a lot of education around you right now.
I am. I just met with my college today.
Oh, good. Awesome. And this is interesting too, because I get the impression before you decided to go to school here that you went back and forth about whether or not you should do this. And you gave yourself so many pros and cons that your head was spinning. Is that true?
I did go back and forth on whether or not to do this because of like what could happen possibly with family if I choose to do this. And I just finally was like, you know what, I'm going to do it.
And good for you for doing that, because I have to tell you, even though you went back and forth with that, you're following your dream. You're following your path. This is what you've wanted to do for so long. You've been thinking about this for so long. And I know you were concerned about the money as well. And I'm actually getting the impression the money part's actually going to work out okay. Do you know about that part yet?
I was wondering about that, so that's really amazing.
Okay, good, because I'm feeling like it's going to work out okay. I'm not feeling that you're going to have to go into this big, gigantic debt or anything like that. You might have to take a little bit out, but I'm feeling like there's money that you're going to give it to you, or you're going to get a scholarship or something. There is something to this. I feel like there's something here. So just keep that in mind, okay? Do not... it's interesting. I can feel your doubts. I can feel yourself, thinking about school and going, oh, but can I handle it? Can I do it? Can this, that? And you're asking yourself all these questions still. Don't do that. Just stop, okay? Because you can handle this. I'm telling you, I can see it so very clearly. And it's such an impression too. And you've got to tell me this, because I feel like I want to put you in one of those helping fields. Are you contemplating going into education, healthcare, something like this, where you're going to be helping other people?
Yep, healthcare, midwifery, really trying to create avenues so that people can have access to free healthcare. Like, that's what I'm really passionate about, is giving people the ability to heal themselves, but have them have that capacity to heal themselves freely. So that's like what I am. I have been obsessed with it for so long.
For years. Yes. And I see this, and I see going into that field, okay? And I'm also seeing, now this is very interesting too. I don't know the name of this field. It's like a naturopathic physician or something like this. Okay. That popped into my head. Keep that in the mind, for the back of your mind for the future, because I have a feeling you're going to start on this path. You're going to complete it. Okay. And other things are going to come up, and you're going to start to see different options that are out there. Okay. Don't limit yourself at this point, or ever for that matter, on what you can achieve, because what's going to happen is you're going to get to school and opportunities are going to start coming to you. You're going to go off and have internships or whatever they call it, and you're going to start to recognize the specifics of what you really want to do. Okay. Now, you're going to have a class. Boy, I can't tell if it's a science class or a math class. It's one of those kind that you're going to be a little bit frustrated with. Okay. So you're going to think, I can't get this. I don't get it. There's something about it that you're just, and it may be the way the teacher's teaching, whatever it is. Don't worry about it. Just keep working. Okay. Because you're not going to be bad at it. It's just that it's going to be frustrating. But you are a person who works. I know you're very responsible, and I know you're going to do the work that's necessary. I also know you're not afraid to ask questions. Is that true?
Yep, I ask a billion.
You do. And, excuse me, and that's going to work out so very well, because your teachers are going to see that you are eager and you want to learn. And because of that, they're going to help you even more. So do not be afraid to ask questions, which I can't see you doing, being afraid, so just keep asking those questions. If you have questions, other people have questions, so just do it, because it's going to help other people too. So that is going to be wonderful. Don't worry. And do you have small children at home now?
I do.
Okay. Because don't worry about them. Okay. What you're doing, even though they're young, and I know it's going to be a little bit tough, you're showing them the importance of following your dream. And you're also providing an opportunity for you to have a better life, because getting the schooling is going to lead you to a better income. It's going to lead you to more opportunities, and you're going to, it's going to be amazing, actually. So this is fun. So you're going to have such an awesome time, and you're showing them the importance of following their dreams. Okay. Just take a little bit of balancing, but I feel like you have support. I feel like there's somebody around you who's going to be very supportive. You have somebody around you who supports you quite a bit?
I'm starting to get into those realms where I was told by a friend of mine that I'm going to have somebody that's going to come into my life that's going to be really supportive in the realm of this. I just don't know who that person is yet, but I know that there's somebody that is going to be really, really supportive in what I'm doing. I just don't know when that person is going to show up.
Yeah, and don't sit there like thinking, I've got to have this person before this, before that.
No.
Don't do that. But do you have somebody who's watching the children during the day, or when you're going to be taking classes or something? Or are they in school?
I got divorced, and I had a nasty custody dispute, and I gave my ex-husband literally everything that he wanted just to get the divorce over with. So he actually has the kids, and one of the reasons why I'm going back to school so that I can, be able to support myself and support them, and, basically go back and fight for custody, since I had to, it was leave him and he take the kids or stay married to him. So I was like, I'm going to leave. So, I've got so the kids are taken care of and stuff during the day, and they go to a daycare. My son's in school, and my daughter's in school too.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's not, okay, I'm glad you don't have to deal with that part of it. Interestingly, though, I have to say, I'm not feeling a whole lot of, I know you're going to want to go back and rebalance that custody issue, which I do think is a good idea. How I touch into that is a good idea. And I really enjoy, I have to say, your plan. Go back to school and get that training so that you can be a better parent and you can support and all of that. It's perfect. And I have to say, though, I'm not picking up on, for you, being ridiculously upset about that situation. It's kind of, I have to say, it's like you've accepted it. And you've thought, what, I'm just going to do the best I can with this. And I understand you do see them. So there is that aspect too, but you're taking a situation and you're making the best of it. And I have to say, I do admire you for that. I'm very proud of you for that. Because it shows your strength of character, and it shows that you have your values in the right place. You want what's best for the kids now, and it may or may not be you being there full time, but you understand the situation and you're making the best of it. And so many people don't do that. So I do want to make sure I acknowledge that to you, how important that is. It's very important. And I know it's not easy, and I know it's not how you wanted the outcome to be, but you've done the right thing in how you're integrating that. And I do have to tell you, I get it definitely coming up, a more equitable agreement there where you'll have the kids more frequently, that kind of thing. So just keep going with your plan, because I see success here and I want to make sure and you're very strong with that. So Cassandra, I should let you go because I should probably take another caller.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You have fun at school. I hope to hear from you in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Namaste and blessing.
Blessings to you too. Thank you for calling. And that was Cassandra, and that was so much fun talking to her. Now we're going to move on to Alexis from Peru. Alexis, how are you today?
Hi, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How can I help you?
Okay, well, I'm really nervous right now. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
I want to ask you, I've always wondered what's the purpose of me living here in Peru. I never really belonged here. I never felt like I belong here, but I know there's a purpose, but I don't know which one is it. And
you've lived in quite a few places, haven't you?
Huh?
Have you lived in quite a few places?
No, most of my life I lived here in Peru. My dream it's always been to live in Europe or somewhere else. But I don't know why. I don't know why I had to have such a hard life. You know, that right now I feel like my past is holding me back, and I don't know how to let go of all the damage I wanna get over everything so I can fulfill my dreams, but I don't know why I can't, and why it is so hard, and why sometimes I wonder, like, why did I have to, come on earth, on this country that offers no opportunities, and it is so dangerous, and nobody appreciates me, and it's so hard sometimes. And I've been through so much, it feels like there must be a reason, but I don't know which it is.
Okay. So if you didn't listen to the beginning of my show, listen to the beginning of the show, because I talked about letting go of some of the things we hold on to in the past. And it sounds like some of that stuff could really benefit you. When I touch into your energy, yes, well, I gave some suggestions at the beginning, so definitely listen to that part if you haven't yet. When I touch into your energy, I get a feeling of you not really being clear about where you want to go, who you want to be, what you want to do. I get a feeling of you having bigger dreams, but you don't know how to take the steps to get there. And I also get the impression that you, it's almost as though not knowing how to get there holds you back rather than taking one step at a time. Okay. I have to tell you this, and this is really strange. So just keep this in mind. Have you ever contemplated going into the field of like news reporting or TV work, radio, anything like that? Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah, I have before. I think I have talent for it. I could have. And
yes.
But always, every time I've tried something, my own self-confidence, that it's almost non-existent, and my head is getting in the way, and I don't get there,
Okay, so what you've got to do,
in my own way,
you've got to do. Yes, you've got to get out of your way. Okay. And the way to get out of your way is to take a small action step towards something. Say that is a career you decided you want to pursue. So you find a college or whatever, a training, whatever is around, or maybe you can get an entry-level job someplace at a TV station, radio station, something like this. So the first step you might do is just to research to see what opportunities are around you. What can you do? Can you, is there someplace you could work? Is there something you can do? Then what you do is you just take one step of action. You've got to take the action. If you don't take the action, you're going to get stuck and you'll be right where you are.
I don't know why taking action scares me, so I'm sorry I got you, but that's the thing. I don't know why taking action scares me.
Probably because situations in the past have shown you that you shouldn't trust yourself. Something may have happened in the past where somebody called you stupid or something and you don't trust yourself. So by taking these small actions, doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do it anyway. You go anyway.
Yeah, I heard
and
it
you've
before.
got Yes, you've just got to try. So think about what you really want and whatever that is. And I have to say, I'm seeing TV and radio. So think about that. Then just research, see what it is, and take one small action step. Going on a website, checking something, seeing, applying for a job, whatever it is. Whatever, very, very small. It doesn't have to be big. It could be going to visit a station and say, I'd love to watch this because I'm contemplating going into this. Could you teach me? Or ask somebody to show you something. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be huge. And you've got to remember, being courageous. I'm looking at, I might be getting a warning that I'm running out of time. So if you can be very, very fast, let me see what I've got. I've got 90 seconds. So I don't think I'm going to have time.
I'm sorry. It's just that with meditation, I noticed that I also developed psychic abilities and I'm scared of them.
Okay. Well, first things first. Okay, first things first. With the meditation and the abilities, you just got to trust. Both of these things involve trust. I tell people all the time, a lot of my clients, you've got to trust. You've got to trust God. You've got to trust spirit. You've got to trust everything around you, that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. But without your taking action, nothing will change. So you must take action. Small steps. So you got to believe. You just got to believe. Now, I'm going to have to let you go, unfortunately, Alexis, because
thank you so much.
I literally have hardly any time left. But thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you.
Okay, bye. And that was Alexis from Peru. So very interesting. Now I could probably spend about an hour with her, I think. So I want to thank you all for watching and listening today. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. And you have a wonderful week. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.
This is A1R. The Ask One Radio Network.
The Ask One Radio Network.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the people it's made from. So where do you find the best people? That may surprise you.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
This is talent worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
A1R.
A1R. A1R.
A1R.
A1R.
A1R.
A1R.
A1R.
The Ask One Radio Network.
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for the Ask Rebecca radio show with Rebecca Russo. Live from AskRebecca.guru. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Ask Rebecca radio show on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Ask Rebecca radio show on A1R Psychic Radio. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited. Hope everyone had a great week. So yesterday morning, I had a pretty intense vision that I interpreted to mean that we currently are and will continue to be for a while longer, purging and healing traumas from minor to major this lifetime and every other lifetime that had to do with our mothers. And I mean, not only mentally and emotionally, but on a DNA level as well. So, some of us have had really great relationships with our moms. Some of us haven't had such great relationships, or even if you've had a good relationship, I'm sure, some of us aren't always getting along. So this divine feminine energies, they're coming, helping to heal our hearts and helping us was connected to pets. Most of us have powerful, powerful connections with our pets, and they evoke strong emotions within us. Some people have a loving, healthy relationship with their pets, others not so much. Regardless, there's healing happening there too. I feel pets will play a significant role in the lives of people who are having a difficult time with this ascension process. So if you're a pet owner and you're struggling, having a pet around makes a huge difference. Now, I also saw people having more experiences with crossed over loved ones or seeing and feeling things they never have due to the veil pretty much being non-existent right now. Personally, I feel the veil doesn't really exist any longer. And if you aren't having any experiences, it could be because you're not open, aware of, paying attention to, or you're simply just not interested, or you haven't worked on expanding your consciousness by getting real with yourself about your own baggage, right? There's a lot of self-reflection and work that has to go into expanding your consciousness, a lot of trust, a lot of things that go into this. So, the way I see it is you can't see through a dirty window pane and you can't successfully use a broken antenna. And so it's getting right with yourself. And then maybe you're going to start experiencing some of your own gifts and abilities. Now, I feel like everyone is experiencing something, but you're just not maybe conscious of it or putting two and two together. But all of that stuff is going to start becoming more and more into your awareness where you have a deeper understanding of this. I recommend start by practicing meditation and confronting your own demons. Another thing that I saw was two people walking side by side in a crowd when all of a sudden this burst of light came from within them, turning them into light and a hologram. And, if you've ever seen spirits or the way that I've seen them, they kind of look like a hologram. They're there, but they're not there. And then these two, again, so there was like this burst of light coming from within these two people, and they were a light hologram, and then they merged into one light, and with another flash, they were gone, which I interpreted to mean this is an expansion in consciousness that we're going through. That's happening right now is going to culminate with the separation of the light from the dark. And those of us who carry a vibration more in line with fourth and fifth dimensional frequencies, who are more on the loving, forgiving, and caring side, will be separated from those of us who choose to continue in the third dimensional energies, which embodies more of the duality, you know, good and evil, happy, sad, all of that stuff. Now, the even bigger picture of that is ultimately once you have expanded your consciousness to the point of having had every possible conceivable experience imaginable in this universe, you merge with Source, or what you may call God. So you're going back to God, right? I feel like there's going to be some amazing times ahead, although we have to get through all the old systems and structures that are collapsing. Earth has a soul too, and just like we are healing and purging, so is she. So there will continue to be earth changes that are happening. Okay, quick announcement. Beginning next Friday, November 16th, I will be launching Free Question Friday on my Instagram and Facebook pages. If you're interested, be sure to follow one or both of my pages so that you can get in on the action and ask your question. I'll be responding randomly to questions all day long throughout the entire day. And I'm going to start doing that every Friday just to give back a little bit. And I'll be posting about it all week long, more information. So follow me, you will know. All right, let's get into what you can expect for the week ahead, which runs from tonight through to Thursday, November 15th. These are general predictions for everyone in areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. General themes, this is another week of decisions. It's time for an important decision. This decision may be made by you or someone else. You may have no control over the decision, but you do have control over your response to it. And even if you don't like the decision, remember it will lead you to where you most need to go. If it's your decision, then make sure you're deciding wisely and you're using all of your entire being, right? You're thinking about it, you're doing research, whatever it is, you want to be smart about your decision. Try not to fall back on default decision making. And once the decision has actually been made, then it's time to take clear and decisive action so that you can help it come to fruition. Now, it's also another week of mastering your courage and fearlessness. Walk the path of the lion. Lions walk with the natural authority wherever they go. Embody this energy and radiate it outwardly. If you have to fake it temporarily until you feel it, by all means do that. You know, do what you got to do. You could see some synchronicities that bring lions into your awareness, signifying you either need to be courageous or you are being courageous. They could show up in anywhere in your reality. You may even hear a news story or two that has something to do with lions. Having a great day or a bad day will also be coming up in some ways this week. Are you having more good days or are you having more bad days? For some of you, I feel like you could get hooked into some sort of drama that pulls you right out of having a great day. If that happens, stop whatever you're doing and get back to your place of Zen. For the most part, I feel everyone is going to notice, yes, I'm having a great day. You'll be feeling more oneness. It's all about becoming aware of the fact you do have more positive days than negative ones. You maybe just choose to focus and dwell on the negative experiences more than you do the positive ones. So the universe is trying to get you to flip your perception and keep you positively charged. Now, you could be feeling charged up and full of energy this week. Your self-confidence is increasing, which is going to help you accomplish your goals. I feel positive messages around work and career coming for some of you, and lots of feel-good vibes, uplifting energy and support. You could have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius people in your life lighting a fire under you to help motivate you. You could also have a few that are good friends that may be a bit self-absorbed, yet they bring it this week when it comes to your friendship. So there's lots of good vibes there. I also feel some of you who have been trying to conceive are going to get some really positive news. For some of you, I feel like you find out you're actually pregnant. For others, you start working on baby making. And then there are those of you who may have had some fertility issues that end up having some light shed on them so that you can be successful the next go around. So I just feel like you're going to get answers and you're going to get results. And if you've really been trying, I do feel you will be successful. And also, Monday, I believe it is. I believe it's Monday. Whatever day, 11/11/11, right? So this year, November 11th, 2018 adds up to 11/11/11. And this is going to be a really, really, really great day in manifestation. So I highly recommend maybe meditating, maybe doing a vision board, whatever works best for you in putting all of your attention and your focus and your energy into the positive aspects of your life and the things that you want to create and bring to fruition for you. Monday, or the 11/11 is going to be the great day to do that, okay? And then for fun, I bought these new cards that I love. They're called Rebel Deck cards, and they're a little dirty, a little racy, and this is a PG show, so I'm not going to use certain language